Welcome back. We're in the same project which we created in the last video. The way we want to organize our course Python files is by creating a separate directory for each chapter in this course. I'm going to go and right click on activities, go to the new, and here we have two options. Either we can create a simple directory or we can create a Python package. It's up to you. We'll talk about Python packages later in the course. Basically, it is just a directory with some additional information in it, which makes it Python package. For now, we are going to create just a directory. To make it easy for you guys to follow along, I would like to name the directory same as the chapter name. So we'll do 01 Python language overview. That's the chapter name or section name. The section number is 05 instead of 01. So we just, keep that 05. I'm going to click OK, and there we go. We have the directory. Now I'm going to right click on a directory, go to new, and create a new Python files. And I'm going to name this comments. Okay, so let's talk about comments in Python. Comments are integral part of programming. Comments can be taught as a notes on the code that gives us more contextual information about it. They can tell us why certain decisions were made, some improvements that can be made in the future, and also explain the business logic. In short, they make the code easier to understand for other developers. There are three different ways to write Python comments. Documentation strings, we can call it docstring for short, inline comments, and block comments. Block and inline comments start with the £sign. A block comment comes in the line before the statement it's annotated and is placed at the same indentation level. So we start by creating a variable. I'll create a variable num equal to, I'll give it a value of 1. On the next line, I will create another variable counter is equal to num plus 1. Okay, now let's just say that I will leave this file here and I want somebody else to work on this file and do something calculation in it. But when this guy comes in and opens the file, he would understand what this counter is equal to num plus 1 doing. This is very simple, he will, but when you grow the code and it becomes a huge application code, then it's hard to see what's happening in the code. This is why we need to write some information. We can write some comments about it. So I'll go to the next line, I give a space here, and then here I will start with £sign and then space, and I'll say, so I wrote it here, it increments number by 1. After counter variable, we will print the counter value. So I'll say print counter. Now I'm going to save this file by pressing Command S, and now we'll run this file. So I'm going to go and click on this play button. It's going to say, hey, error running test, because that file is basically doesn't exist anymore. Okay. So we're going to go to this configuration and click on this minus button to get rid of that. Apply, click OK, and there is no configuration there. But if we press Ctrl+Shift+R on a Mac, or if you want to go to Run menu and then click on Run, it will create the configuration for us. So here it says Edit Configuration or Run Comments. I'll click on Run Comments, and there you go. We get the value as 2 here. So I can continue running this file now because I have this configuration done for me. So I will press Ctrl+R and it will keep running the file. Every time I want to run a file, it will just, press Ctrl+R. Now back to our topic, comments. Now we can write comments with the $sign and they will be ignored by that interpreter. So when the interpreter comes and read this file, it'll go say, okay, num is equal to 1. Okay, I'm going to create a variable. The next line is read by interpreter. When it comes to the next line, it read this hash or pound symbol. Once it read this, it will ignore the rest of the line. So basically, comments are ignored. It's only for us to know what the next line of code is going to do, or next function, or any kind of code that you want to provide some information about. You can write comments. So this is a block comment. Inline comments are there, which basically you can write right in front of your line. So I'm just gonna put it on the side, and here we give a space, and I say pound symbol, and I will write something like. Now this is an inline comment. Next we have documentation strings, or docstring for short. It's a literal string used as a Python command. It is written and wrapped within triple quotation marks. It could be double quotes or single quotes. Docstrings are often used to document modules, function, and class definitions. Let's take a look at demo now. Let's go on the top of the file and press return to give a space. I'm going to use 3 double quotes, and now PyCharm automatically adding 3 double quotes for us at the last. I'm going to press enter. And here I would like to write some information about this comments.py file. So I'll say comments. Okay, let's save this file and let's run it by pressing Ctrl-R. There we go. We only get 2. This line, or these 4 lines, are ignored because these are docstrings. So you can write inline comments, block comments, or docstrings.